For a Wednesday evening, I'm Pugs Moran, and this is James Parker.
That's me. Glad to be here. What's up?
That's him. This is the second of two streams that I do each and every day here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. The first one, high noon, come join us. It's headlines, current events, hot topics. It's a cheat sheet for you. If it's something that people are buzzing about in the greater world, I'm going to give it to you. It's nice little, like I said, it's a neat to eat little treat there at lunchtime. I'll give you all the things you need to know. Then we do this. This is at 9 o'clock, Monday through Thursday. High noon, Monday through Friday at noon. This one, 9 p.m., Monday through Thursday. It's myself, it's James Parker, just a couple of dudes chopping it up nightly.
Hello.
Yeah. I was just, I just threw it to you. Can you not hear me? Are you not?
I can't. I was just trying to set something up over here, and my computer's acting a little wonky.
Okay. All right. Hey, I can keep going, my friend. I've got.
We're good. That's Pugs. I'm Parker. We like to run our mouths in the evenings. Leave a comment. You can be a part of the idiocy over here. Hello, Sally. Hello, Jeff. Hello, everyone. And we don't have. I don't have a guest for tonight, so there's no thing I'm about to spring on you here. Do you have a guest for tonight?
Wonderful. No, I don't. But I am loaded with stuff that I just was so hoping that you and I can talk about. First of all, we've got to watch. Here's what I was thinking, James. You know what tonight would be great? We should call tonight movie night with Pugs and Parker, because I've got some video that I want to watch with you. I want to watch. First of all, I'll run through some of the things that I've got on tap for us to do tonight, okay? First of all, did you hear about Fox Nation and how they got the two brothers who were hired to beat up Jussie Smollett and they had to reenact the Jussie Smollett hit? Did you hear about this?
No, but why didn't we think of this?
We should watch the video. We got to watch the video of the two goons. And they're saying what they said and they're miming the fight scene. Oh, it's fantastic. There's that. I want to show you. Well, you're a married guy, right? You can be honest about this stuff. You ain't going anywhere.
Okay.
You've said yourself, this
I
marriage,
like this already. Yeah.
marriage is set in stone. And because of all these things, you have the freedom of a married man to be honest. So I've got a couple of videos of girls doing things, okay? And I want to show them to you. And I'm just going to ask you the simple question: is this hot? Like, is this hot? Like, if this is your girlfriend and she can do
I'm the worst person for that because I'm going to say yes to all of them.
Okay. All right. So we can do that. Then what else do we have? Oh, man. Something crazy. Something crazy happened during a Mark Cuban interview. Now, I know this might be a little bit in your wheelhouse there, Parker, because you like the economy talk. You like that stuff. It's in your wheelhouse. It's one of the things that you do professionally. So Mark Cuban was being interviewed by Jon Stewart about what's going on with the banks. And Mark Cuban began to go into this big, long ramp up. And he started to say, he goes, well, I'll tell you, and this is what this is what the global banking syndicate doesn't want you to know. And that's... And his signal cut out just as he was saying this. Now, we know it's a coincidence, right? I mean, come on. We're not cue holes. We're not crazy. But it's weird and it's fun, so I thought we could watch that as well. And get your take on that. And then anything that you have. Oh, also, here's something else fun that we can fall back on should we need it. So, do you like the Joe Rogan podcast? Do you like the Rogan show?
I am a fan. I don't watch all the episodes, but I've watched a lot of them.
Yeah, I like him too. I think he's a tremendous interviewer. I think he's funny. I think he's smart. I think he's interesting. I think that he's been framed as a certain kind of person. When what I think makes him so interesting is that he ain't no one kind of person. He's like a whole bunch of different things, man. He's like and I like that.
Like most of us.
Like most of us, yeah, very complicated. But so I don't listen. I'm not like, did you hear the latest Rogan that dropped? I'm not one of these Rogan bros. But I do look on my Spotify and I look to see who he's interviewing, because if it's a great guest that I'm in, then this is great. Joe Rogan, who's a great interviewer, who I enjoy, and a great guest. He was talking to Bert Kreischer the other day, and I love Bert Kreischer. Bert Kreischer is another one of these.
The comedian?
Yeah. The Machine, Bert. Bert was another one of these Pugs and Kelly comics who, before they became really big, and Bert's really big now. See this new movie that they're coming out with, The Machine? Have you seen this? So, all right, I won't get taken off track, but he's like one of the biggest comedians in America right now, and he's got this big movie deal, and he's got this big movie, this big major Hollywood movie that he is the star of, that is based on his comedy routine, The Machine. How he got his nickname, The Machine. It's a very funny bit about a trip to Russia when he was a college student and how he ended up hanging out with the Russian mob and all that kind of stuff. So it's a legit movie, and it looks fucking great, man. And it very easily could make Bert Kreischer suddenly a big movie star.
But there was such a whirlwind of comics back then.
Yeah. But Bert was a regular. We spent like a week with Bert in Ireland. Bert went to Ireland with Kelly and I on our Ireland trip.
Even bigger then.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see which ones actually made something, because there were some really good ones that never did anything.
Here, hold on. Let's take a look at the Machine trailer, okay? Because I'm serious. It looks so great. Trailer. Because it hasn't really been promoted all that much yet. But when is it coming out?
Like, I would have liked to see what would have happened if they had put Sean Rouse in movies. I know he's not with us anymore, but there's a lot of talent that's just left on the floor in the circuit that never gets the shine that could be really good.
Sean Rouse was brilliant. That's a real loss. All right, here, watch this trailer. This is the new Bert Kreischer movie, or the movie that I think is probably going to make him a big star. Here you go. First of all, he's very funny.
7 years ago, one incredible story blew up the internet.
When I was 22, I got involved with the Russian mafia. I was a frat boy on a class trip.
This is Igor. He's here for your protection. He is very dangerous. You are not to talk to or hang out with him.
All I want to do is hang out with him.
I did not speak Russian.
Yeah, machina.
All I knew how to say was, on the machine! It was literally the best summer of my life.
We robbing this guy?
This is Russia!
23 years after those events, the story continues.
What is wrong with this shirt? Yo, Machine. Not today, brother. Not today. My dad showed up.
You paid money to see my son tell his made-up story about robbing a train in
Dad,
Russia?
for the millionth time, it's a true story. It took about 2 seconds before he started making me mental. Look at it. Bear.
He's a monster. Are you the Machine?
Ma'am, the party's outside.
23 years ago, you stole the only thing my father ever cared about.
Sorry.
This is some sort of TikTok prank. I'm about to lose my shit.
It's definitely a prank. Clearly that's a fake gun. Or not.
You're coming with me back to Russia.
Russia?
If you try to run.
He's going down. Dad, why are you talking all fast like you're on speed or something?
Because I'm on speed.
Oh.
More drugs. Bert, take off that shirt and show those SOBs who you really are.
Now, you gotta party with me.
He's the motherfucking machine.
Fine. I'm just gonna shoot him in the leg. Oh my God, I'm going to fucking hell! I killed a man.
Well, technically you killed several men.
All right, Bert Kreischer. He's got a shot at the big time, huh, James? He's got Mark Hamill as his dad. That's pretty good.
That looks funny. That has to be funny.
It's a true story. That's the thing. That's why yes, it is a true story. He was a foreign exchange student and he was on a school trip and he swears up and down it's a true story. And he's got people that back it up. And he got in a train car in the middle of Russia with a bunch of guys who were Russian mafia dudes and they started drinking together. and they got shit-faced. And these Russian mob guys kind of adopted him. So he ditched out on his student trip to Moscow and hung out with the Russian mob and he created a comedy routine about it that is so funny. It's his signature routine. Like at the end of it, he goes, okay, I'll tell you about how I got my nickname. And he goes into the story, and they're making a big movie about it. And
Good.
it's so incredible. So anyway, boy, that was a long way for me to tell you that he was interviewed by Joe Rogan yesterday, which is why I recently listened to him. Bert Kreischer started talking about a new thing that he's into, which is learning about dictators. And he talked about this one guy who I can't even pronounce his name, but he died in 2006, so he's recent. He was like between 1985 and 2006. We in America have never heard this dude's name. He was the dictator of Turkmenistan, and I've got a list of things that he did, and we're not talking about waging war and stealing money. No, this dude was a full-on crazy person, and they made him president for life. And if we have time, and I don't know, I've taken so long in this wrap-up of things we can talk about today. If we have time, one of the things, James, just to give you a taste of the kind of craziness that he did, one of the things he did was he renamed the months of the year and the days of the week and added months and added days because he felt he was aging too quickly. And he's got a whole bunch of these kinds of things that he did. So if we have time, we can go through. We can show you how power truly does corrupt. We'll give you a nice little rundown.
I love that.
What do you got?
Well, you know how yesterday I played you the guns and a drug bit from Bobby?
Yeah.
So I was digging, and we used to make these little production pieces that we would play before the opening theme, because the opening theme was El Distorto de Melodica, or what was it?
Yeah, El Distorto de la Modica by Everclear. El Distorto.
Did I say it right?
I think you did. I don't know. I never knew how to say it, so who knows?
So there's like a 2-minute production piece that it was based off of the Drugs and a Gun Man, and it's sort of sampled, and then there's thrown in all these other samples from the show for the most part, and then some samples from like King of the Hill and whatnot.
Right.
But it was kind of a cool memory lane thing, because this is sort of the production piece, maybe played like 20 times and then never got played again. But it's just 2 minutes, and I don't know. It's a cool little time capsule for you and me. It's a cool little time capsule.
Yeah, I'm loving hearing these things because I don't have any of these things. So every time I get to hear one, I love hearing them. So let's save that for the end again. We'll do those at the end. All right, you got anything you want to start with, or should I just jump right in?
Well, I wanted to hear the SVB stuff from Mark Cuban, but
okay, yeah. Okay, so here's the situation. This is and again, I know this is kind of. It's probably just a coincidence, but it is so weird that it happened this way. So let me show you the video.
I need to put disclaimers on a lot of stuff. I was the co-host on a financial talk show for the last 12 years, and I may sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. Most of what I'm going to say is me repeating stuff I've overheard. I have no financial expertise. I'm not a financial advisor. I have no degree in the field, okay? So if it sounds like I know what I'm talking about, it's just because I've swam in these waters a whole lot. So don't put any stock in anything I'm going to say.
Well, we won't. Hold on. We are having a little bit of a problem with the piece of video that I wanted to show. Hold on, James. Give me just a second. The video that I wanted to show, I can't play off the computer that I need to play it off of. It says that I've got some ad blocking thing up. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if we can find it. Worst case scenario, I can just play the audio. We don't really need to see the video. It was
why don't you send me the link in the private chat window, and I'll pop it up on a YouTube screen on my end.
Oh, look at that. Isn't that a great idea? All right.
We bring good things to life.
All right.
In the meantime, why don't you sing us a song?
I don't feel like singing a song right now. We're streaming. We shouldn't be as afraid of dead air as we are in radio. Apparently dead air is acceptable. All right, there you go. I just sent it to you. All right, so I just sent it to your email. He is smart, Will. That was actually a very clever thing. I was trying to think of how we could get around, and I was just quickly searching YouTube for it, but it's not on YouTube.
Mediaite.
Yeah.
All right.
A clip from Mediaite.
You're a Mediaite.
I love Mediaite. Did you ever go to Mediaite? Mediaite.
Sure. Well, I don't go to Mediaite, but I end up other people link stuff that they've done. No, I do not want to see notifications. I just want to see the damn Mark Cuban stuff. So are we seeing it? Oh, here, I got to do this.
All right, put it up. Hit play. Hit play and
Right.
make it big.
It'll be
Do all that
bigger.
stuff on your end. Get rid of them pop-ups. Come on, Parker, and I'll do this. I'll get rid of the caption.
All right, here's Mark.
So my son got me this weird new tool for Father's
Make
Day,
you watch this
and at
ad.
first I thought it looked kind of.
If you owned a share of stock in Silicon Valley Bank, where you owned, at one point it had a $60-70 billion market cap, plus their debt, billions of debt. Owned any of that debt or any of those shares of stock, that money's gone, never to be seen again. Literally, if somebody owned 5% of Silicon Valley Bank, $1 billion worth, to make the numbers easy, they are no longer a billionaire.
Even if another bank comes in
Correct.
and buys their assets, which, by the way, I would assume their assets are still quite viable, that their assets are probably
sure.
close to what
They've got good assets. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
They've got good assets, but I think in the UK, I think HSBC bought the UK Silicon Valley
That's right.
business for $1, for €1, right? So that tells you what it's worth.
Right.
I just want to clarify too. They bought it for €1. Their abilities. You're standing behind all the deposits, which involves risk. So the €1, I think it's a little misleading that it is a valuable franchise.
No, it's not though. But it's not misleading because the shareholders got nothing. So HSBC took on debt and took on obligation, and they could benefit the HBSC shareholders. But if you owned it, the value to the equity valuation is gone. It is gone. There's no value. You can't even buy a share of Silicon Valley stock.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yes. I just wanted to make sure that they were putting money up in terms of backing the deposits. So that wasn't just the only financial exposure they were taking. Yep.
The shareholders have taken a haircut, a loss, and that they're last in line.
Yeah. So it's not little. They're not even in line, right? So it's not like there was this big saving or, we bailed out the shareholders and all the tech bros came out okay. They got crushed. There is
I think that's a little misleading because
event.
These are not average depositors. So the people that are going to be getting their money back because it's now fully guaranteed by the United States, there are people there that had hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, you've got Roku that had, I don't know, $500 million in there. These are not mom and pop investors and mom and pop depositors that put in a little bit of money, saving it for a rainy day. Like there are a ton of people. This is like when you read about those PPP loans that people would get that would say, our business, I have $1 billion business and I got a, $300 million PPP bailout. Like I'm not as concerned about all the shareholders.
Yeah, but it's bigger than that. Yeah, the shareholders are different, but the depositors, right?
There are giant depositors there.
Well, they were giant.
For sure,
yeah, this wasn't a bunch of mom and pops.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
But that's not the point, right? The point is that the entire banking system of the world.
Oh, did we lose him?
Oh, dude, no.
Son of a bitch.
No.
He just said the entire banking system of the world, and then we lost him. Holy shit. Now what do we do? Mark Cuban just created a bank run. The entire banking system of the world.
I'm sure he's going to say it was perfectly safe and sound.
And then all we heard was ding. The captain is asking you to put on your seatbelts.
Right. That's all. They're just going to clown it for a little bit.
Speaking. Mark Cuban.
Isn't that fun? That's weird.
We're dead. We're all dead people. Then they're monitoring us at this point.
I'm just telling you, if I'm one of those Q hole types, if I was already down in the hole,
I know, and like I can't hardly fault people that are QAnon believers or people that believe the Earth is flat because you had the people in the media falling for Jussie. So if you don't trust them, I understand. Yeah, the Earth. I don't think it's flat, but I understand how you could
I
not.
certainly think that's a false equation. People falling for Jussie, so what? JFK Jr. can still be alive? No, that's a false equation. But I see where you're going. Speaking of Jussie, shall we move forward in tonight's slate of offerings and do the Jussie Smollett reenactment?
Oh yeah, because the Nigerians. What show was this?
Yeah. No, this is I don't know, some Fox Nation. I don't know what Fox Nation is. I think it's their streaming service or something like that. So they've got this thing out, and they're troublemakers over there. So they of course went and paid the Nigerian bodybuilders who were involved. James, explain to people while I pull it up what this is all about. The Nigerian bodybuilders and the whole Jussie Smollett situation.
Yeah, so these are guys that worked out with Jussie at the gym, and he had actually got him some extra roles on Empire, and he was the one that they hired to beat him up and throw bleach on him and stuff. So,
yeah, but then he blamed them, like to the point where they had to leave the country. They had to go flee to Africa for like a month. Remember that?
And how lax is our immigration that these guys are still doofusing around the Fox Nation set, causing trouble. So, okay, apparently we're not that zip tight when it comes to border scrutiny. But I'm glad they're here doing their thing because this can't, even if it's bad, it's going to be good.
They're smart dudes. They recognize the Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame window is closing, so they're just getting involved here. And they're smart enough to recognize that there is a very anti-Jussie Smollett movement in this country. And there should be a way for them to be able to take advantage of that monetarily. And they've kind of figured it out. They're playing to that anti-Jussie. Now, there's also, I can't imagine after all that we know that there's much of a pro-Jussie Smollett movement. But you know what I'm saying? Like they're going to go on the Newsmax. They're going to go on the Fox Nation.
Yeah. I love the story because his official position still is that he was jumped. They beat him up. They were wearing MAGA hats. They threw bleach on him. They put a noose on him. They said, "This is MAGA." All that stuff. That's still his official position.
These two dudes are a couple of Nigerian immigrant brothers, and they need to have their own show because they're wildly entertaining. All right, let's watch this. This is these are the two. They're going to walk you right through where it all happened, so you get to see where it is. All you need to, I think, remember for context is that this was the coldest day of the year in a city that is used to having coldest days of the year. This was a particularly cold-ass day. Middle of the night. Here we go.
They took our beautiful bench. This is where we waited for Jussie to come before we attacked them. So we got here with 10 minutes to spare, and we had to plan our escape route to survey the land. His building is actually right here, right above the stairs that we're going to attack him at. We made sure we got there at 2 a.m. sharp.
On the dot.
On the dot. We had no phones because he did not want us to bring any phones. He said, so we don't lose them. I don't know if that's really the reason, but you can deduce your own reason. So 2 a.m., he was nowhere to be found. He was not there. So we were like, damn, what do? We didn't have no way of contacting him. He had no way of contacting us. So we waited here for about, what, 4 minutes?
It was about 4 minutes,
4 minutes.
But it felt like forever.
Because it was cold as balls. Yeah. So I saw him out the corner of my eye, and I was like, okay, that's him. Let's go. We gotta go get this Empire fat. Yeah, that's him. That's him. Is that him?
That's that Nick.
It's that Nick.
Get that Nick.
Oh, he's moving fast. Come on, let's get him.
Get that Nick.
They're gonna reenact.
As we crossed the street, we said hey to get his attention.
Hey, Nick.
Hey. He turned around, looked at us, and that's when we started yelling the famous slurs he wanted us to yell. Hey.
Aren't you that Empire?
Hey, Empire fat Nick. It's MAGA country.
Yeah.
And then he said, what did you say to me? And then that's when I threw the first punch at him. I held the blow because I didn't want to hurt him, of course. So I made it look real, but I held it. Then we started tussling, moving around, and then I threw him to the ground. He wanted it to look like he fought back. that was very important for him because he said, hey, don't just beat my ass, make it look like I'm fighting back and whatnot. So we did that, and then I threw him to the ground, and after I threw him to the ground, he had no bruise. I wanted it to look more real.
Because he's a professional.
Then I threw him to the ground. After I threw him to the ground, I used my knuckle and gave him a noogie. So I went like this. Why did I do that? To give him a scar, to give him a mark, to make it look real, like he really did get his ass beat. After I did that, I fake kicked him. I don't know what he was doing. I wasn't paying attention.
That's where I came around with the bleach, the infamous bleach in the hot sauce bottle.
He's the bleach
poured
man.
it on his shirt. Then I finally put the rope around his face. I did not put it around his neck. I just placed it on his face, and that's when we took off.
Like Batman villains. Look at him. All right. How much fun is that, James? That's some fun right there. Those brothers seem awesome.
All right, my observation out of all that is they put the bleach in a hot sauce bottle. That's new information to me. I didn't know that until 10 seconds ago. And also the hot sauce that they use is called El Yucateco. I love that brand. I actually found that brand in the Yucatan and then came back here, and they have it in like Walmart and the grocery stores around here. So
it's so exotic.
Yeah, right. I thought it was exotic because I found it in Mexico. And I thought this is hot and this is freaking tasty, and I love this stuff. And I come back and it's here, and it's like, oh well, I mean, good, but they kind of take some of the cool factor out of it. But that's how I remember the hot sauce bottle. So I don't know. You might have been worse off actually throwing the hot sauce on them because that stuff's like, that's pretty pungent stuff. The bleach. So let me get this straight. I'm supposed to believe like some dude is just carrying around bleach in a hot sauce bottle, and because I don't know, like, not only does he really hate black people and gay people and whatever, probably Democrats in general, but textiles, really. He's a very anti-textile guy.
It's also, Jussie Smollett is not from Chicago. He's an actor who is on location there, and he was being put up in a corporate apartment in a very nice part of town. So, Jussie Smollett figured this whole, he came up with the whole plan. One of the first things that rang is completely false to anybody from Chicago is the screams of "this is MAGA country." Like that's just so far. That kind of criminal, that sort of crime, where the guy would be, "this is MAGA country," it's gonna be a hate crime, would not occur in that neighborhood. It just wouldn't. I mean, it's a safe, well-protected neighborhood. Now, I know Chicago, the murder capital, but that's all happening in, like, the Oak Cliffs of Chicago, if you're familiar. This is, like, a downtown, really nice part, and there's crime everywhere. I get that. But that just seems so phony that there would be, like, where did these guys come from?
Well, also, I can raise my hand and say I live in MAGA country, and no one ever says that. Like, even in MAGA country, no one ever. That's like not a saying. That's not a thing.
But that's even on, I think, the south side of the river. So that would be the south side of Chicago. That is not MAGA country. That is Obama country, if anything. I mean, he lives blocks from there. And it just seems so bizarre. But I like those brothers. I think those brothers are milking it, and I hope they're getting paychecks. I hope they why weren't they at CPAC? How great would have they been doing that on stage at CPAC? They got to cash in on this stuff.
I imagine their political leanings probably are on the left, but they're
Doesn't
not.
matter. They're
not
a
going to
brand.
do this on Rachel Maddow's show, are they?
They're a brand. It doesn't matter. They have you can project whatever political ideology you want onto those guys at this point. They are a brand. They represent the humiliating of Jussie Smollett. And there's a lot of people who are interested in that brand. So I'm just saying, doesn't matter.
All right. So
they can't vote anyway. But remember, they're both like criminals. They both have like records and stuff. So,
all right, you ready for the Bobby intro?
You want to do this now, or you want to do this at the end? We can do it now. Yeah, let's do it now. Go ahead, kick back. I'm gonna give this a listen.
All right, so we did the Bobby drugs and a gun. Do I need to replay that? Because that's only like...
A Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant employee was arrested after a customer received a little something extra with his chicken dinner. The customer received 2 bags of marijuana. He gave the pot back to the employee, got his extra biscuits.
I know you're a professional, and I like to think that I raised you up nice. But you got to reestablish what this is for people who are listening and now suddenly just hearing a woman's voice they've never heard before. So explain what this is that we're listening to.
All right, this is from September of 2002 during the Civilization as We Know It segment where Sybil's reading the news. this is not the first, second, it's probably third or fourth story that she's reading.
Yeah, and this is a show that you and I worked on together years ago.
Yeah, I assume everyone knows this. Would
Yeah,
you
I
like
do.
to-
Don't assume everyone knows that, but that's what we're listening to.
Right. Pugs and I were on a show 20 years ago. And this is something that happened on it where we make fun of our somewhat dissociated stoner board op, Bobby.
A Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant employee was arrested after a customer received a little something extra with his chicken dinner. The customer received 2 bags of marijuana. He gave the pot back to the employee, got his extra biscuits, and called the police. So when the deputies arrested Ayala, they also found more pot on him and a handgun.
Dangerous job dealing drugs out of the KFC. You never know when you
Yeah, drugs and a gun, man. That's serious stuff, huh?
What's up with Bobby? Bobby hasn't said a word in 15 minutes, and he just leans in, looks at me with this real earnest look. Yeah, so how about that? Guns and drugs at the KFC? Let's talk about that for a while. What do you think about that? Did you see how he was looking?
I know.
What do you think about that?
Some serious business.
That's some serious business, man.
Pot good.
Check it
Gun
out.
bad.
They messed up.
Yeah, check it out, man. Pots and biscuits, KFC. What do you think about that, Pugs? Shut up, Bobby.
Relax.
Relax, Bobby. Yeah, it's pretty wild. All right, anything else, Seb?
Sure.
One more?
Yes,
one more, and then let's get out of here and let's start having some fun.
Thanks.
Christ.
All right, do I get my sound effect?
Oh.
Okay, reverse.
Jeez. All right, this one's out of Detroit.
That's pretty wild how we did it in reverse. What do you think of that, Pugs?
Some serious business.
Trippy.
Let's you and I just have a little talk.
All right. Here's the song we made out of it that we used to play as a production piece just before the top of the hour intro.
Dude, check out pugsandkellylive.com. Oh, that's too many words for you, isn't it? The Pugs and Kelly show?
Drugs and a gun, man. 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 Serious stuff, huh? Serious stuff, huh?
So, Bobby, you like it, obviously, when girls talk dirty in bed.
The dirtier, the better. No holds barred.
Really?
Absolutely. Nothing shocks me.
I find that distracting. I like it when a cooked up stripper does it at 4 o'clock in the morning. I like that, because that girl's got no future. She's not going to be around in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not going to be anyone that I'm going to take home to meet my man. My mom. Whoa.
Oh my God!
Whoa.
Where did that come from?
Drugs and a gun, man. 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 Serious stuff, huh? Serious stuff, huh?
What do you know about sexual relations?
I don't know. Nothing much. I'm a little worried about being a slut.
I'm telling you, I just get these urges of me and Chris alone in the back room, and well, me on my knees making it up to him.
Yeah.
Put that dang old thing out, man. Y'all gonna lighten up like that, man. You're gonna do just like a dang old junkie, man. You're gonna go messing up my head with that dang old secondary nicotine like that, man.
I'm just glad that I'm not popular.
Why is that?
Because I'm free to do this.
Okay. You come down.
If I was popular, I wouldn't be here.
That's
and
true.
I don't mean that in a bad way. How'd that come off?
All right, Crane. You don't like me, and I don't like you. But let's just do this, and I can get back to killing you with beer.
Oh, that's the Bobby intro. I completely forgot about that. That is amazing work you guys did. Love the Bobby intro.
Yeah, and so then directly from there, it'd be the dun-up, dun-up, the Everclear song.
I used to use that. Yeah. I used to use that all the time, and I'd completely forgotten that was Bobby. that was an isolated clip of Bobby just off mic going, yeah. But I remember using that all the time, and then just now it dawned on me like, oh my God, that was Bobby. Because I love that sound effect. I would love to use it. Yeah. But I don't know. Is it still funny? Maybe it was funny back then in its time because people understood that it was Bobby, and it reminded them of a lot of other things, like Bobby's faux excitement, his innocence. When we talked to Bobby, Bobby had this innocence that was like just. We're gonna overthrow the Capitol. Bobby.
Let's go.
Very excited. That's good stuff, James. Nice stuff. All right, what else? My turn?
Yes,
Okay.
back to you.
Let me show you a couple examples of girls, things that girls are doing, okay? And you're a married guy. I'm a single guy. And I'll tell you whether or not I find these things to be attractive. Like, what I mean about this is, sure, okay, girls are attractive, right? I think that if you've got a girlfriend who's a 9, right, an established 9, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, she's hot. But it doesn't mean you're gonna be compatible. There might be little idiosyncrasies about them that you just can't. Sure, they're hot, sure they're attractive, but it takes more than that for a relationship, right? So I'm gonna show you a couple of girls and some of the things that they do, some of their special little skills, and you tell me whether or not these are deal breakers or if these are, and I want you to really think about it, for real. Like, what does an ability to cultivate this kind of skill say about them? You know, I want you to really think about this.
Oh, no, this is starting to sound really bad.
Well, I think they might seem a bit innocent at first glance. I think they might seem a little silly, but here you go. Okay, so let me tell you, I guess the question, is this hot? Is this not hot? But really the bigger question that I have for you is like, is this something that you could date? Okay, is this, all right, first one we will do, oh no, okay, we'll do this one. All right, James, how about this? Is this a characteristic in a woman? I had a friend who, had a really cute girlfriend in college, James, but she belched out loud in a bar once, and he broke up with her, and he would never date her again because he said that a girl who belches in public, even accidentally, is not somebody that he's willing to waste any time with. See what I mean? I'm talking about these crazy.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. She belched, and you're too good for a person who belches.
Well, I tend to agree with you on that because she was really cute. But okay, so here we go. So here's this girl. Let's watch her. You tell me, is this something? And look, yes, I know she's very attractive. Okay, this is a very attractive girl. We all know she's hot. I'm not asking about whether or not you take her out because I'm saying, could you be in a relationship with a girl who can do this? Okay, here you go, James. All right. See, she's got a beer in her hand.
Yeah.
Already, it's a yes?
Yeah.
Already. All right, here you go. All right, darling. Here she goes. First of all, look at her. She's adorable. And just...
Yeah. I'll be right now. That's amazing.
That is...
Yeah.
Okay, did you catch that, James?
That was amazing. I love her.
An entire pint of beer in under a second. She had now here's what I love, James. Here, let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this just so that you can. I want you to really put your face in there. I want you to watch her expression as she does it. It's equal parts confidence and sheepish humiliation. It is so cute. It's like she's proud of herself, but she knows she shouldn't be proud of herself. So watch her reaction in the moments immediately following her guzzling of this. It'll make you fall in love with her.
Yeah. I'll be right now. That's amazing.
That is...
Look at that right there.
Yeah. I hope the awesomeness of what I just did doesn't scare you away.
Yes, it's like she understands that this is not the most. She wouldn't do this in front of her boyfriend's mother, right? She understands that maybe this is not good. But here, oh god.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. All right, so James, weigh in on this one. Is that a deal breaker for you? What do you think?
No, that's a positive. That's a net positive. That's marriage material.
Are you being silly? Because what about that makes you think it's marriage material? I mean, the shell is fantastic. The girl suit that she's wearing is hot as hell. So yeah, she's gonna make a beautiful bride. But what about having that ability tells you she's marriage material?
Okay, so the ability tells you that number one, she has tried it before, so there's a whole level of human beings like my sister, who's probably never even attempted to slam a whole beer at once, because I'm not even sure if my sister's had a whole beer.
I will take that. So what you're basically saying is she's fun. She's fun. She likes to have, she'll go out and she'll have a good time. She'll try.
Her only problem is that she could be too much fun. So
that's what we're getting to.
So that's why that's a net positive. And I have dated some girls who were too much fun, and as fun as I think I am, there are some girls who can outfun me. And these are some chicks that are like, it looks good, but it is not a fun ride.
Beautiful alcoholics are fun for like the first couple of weekends you date them. But then it just becomes a pain in the ass. You're carrying people. Drunk girls get you into fight. That's my concern with her. My concern with her, and again, physical attraction aside, because she is obviously an angel from heaven. But what concerns me is a girl like that, a girl who does that, a girl who has developed the ability to do that, and who her friends know she's like a trained monkey. She did that on demand. Like they were sitting around having drinks.
Yeah.
And someone said, you should do that thing. So it's something that concerns me about her being probably an alcoholic or some kind of binge drinker.
Now, I can hear from the tone of your voice, because I've been there. You've actually dated a beautiful girl that is a legit pamphlet, bullet point hitting alcoholic. Yeah. I did too, and I can talk smack about her because she's dead now. But you remember Nan, right?
I do.
Yeah, she was just a clinical alcoholic. Functioning.
Wait, Nan is dead?
Yeah, Nan died.
Did I know that Nan died?
Probably not. I don't. Maybe not.
Like, have you brought it up before? Because I thought you'd brought her up before, but I'm not sure that we'd established she had passed. All right, I'm very sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. But she was one of those where it was really, really fun for about 2 months, and when you're just caught up in the whirlwind of it, because I'm a guy in my mid-20s and life is just kind of wild period. People have a lot of parties, people get drunk, people throw up, people say dumb things, or people send you stupid text messages, or don't remember having sex or whatever. So it dawned on me. I came home, I was working an overnight shift on the board, so I came home at literally 6 a.m. I got off work, and there was a hole in my drywall in my apartment. And the identical twins were both topless and passed out in my living room, which was kind of cool, but kind of like they'd gotten in a fight and ripped each other's clothes and
let me tell you
passed
this.
out in the fight.
Here's what it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool if it's the first time this has happened. But, the fifth time these drunk girls have gotten into a sloppy mess and ended up that way, it ain't sexy anymore. Now it's just, ugh.
Well, here's the not sexy part. I told you bitches to leave when I had to go to work
hours ago.
Yeah, because last time y'all, when I came home, my dresser was tumped over, and neither one of y'all could remember who did it, because they were identical twins and they were both alcoholics. So it's like having two little dogs that fight all the time.
Yeah. That's crazy. Two identical twins would be alcoholics together. That's maybe it's not crazy. Maybe it's common. I don't know. I've just not had.
Well, they got the same genes, so.
Yeah, if you believe that, the genetic.
That's what I heard in your story when you were talking about how it's fun for a little bit. And
it is fun. It is fun. It's fun to go out with them.
They do know these tricks. Like both of these twins, they're really good at pool and they're really good at darts because they spend a lot of time in bars.
In bars.
And so when you show me that beautiful chick with that bar trick, I imagined, there's part of me that is automatically tripped by that, whether I like it or not. Like, that might be too much fun, Parker.
Yeah, well, here's how I'm gonna come down on this. I'm gonna say she's okay. I'm gonna chalk that particular skill up to just a lone outlier of an eccentricity, and I'm gonna go with she's a beautiful hot girl that you should just date anyway.
I think there's a greater than 0 chance, probably a greater than 40% chance that she's put a hole in drywall at some point.
She's probably a drunk and maybe a violent one, but we'll roll the dice on her. Okay, I got one more for you. Okay. I got another one for you. It's the same question, same parameters. Here she is. Let me find this little darling. Let me pull her up for you. This one's a little different. This one's a little bit different. Ooh, okay, all right. So here you go, James. Could you date this one? Or how am I phrasing this? Is it just... is this a deal breaker for you? Okay, here you go. Here we go with this lovely little lady. Let's make her big. There she is. Okay, you see her? She likes motorcycles.
Oh, geez. So on the James Show, we called this the Would You game.
Okay, all right.
And it has different levels. Would you marry her? Would you smash her? Would you?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to
Hate her.
reduce it to just would you, because I think the question is greater, because I'm asking you to.
But it could be, would you marry her? Would you date her? Would you take her home to mom? There's
Could
all
you have a serious relationship with her? I guess is what I'm saying.
we'll just go through all the woulds on her.
Okay, here you go. Okay, here we are. This girl. Would you, could you, all those questions.
Okay.
Is this sexy to you as a guy? Could you take that? All right, James, that's my question for you. Could you date that, or I guess have a relationship with that?
I don't know. I would bore the shit out of her. Right? This is what she's doing on a Thursday compared to what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would, but
Okay, so look, aesthetically, she looks good in jeans. She's obviously got a nice fit body from the waist down. She looks fine. She's probably hot. You know, she's very good at riding. Here's why I am out on this one, where I give the other one the benefit of the doubt. The girl who could open up the back of her throat and chug a beer in 1 second flat. I give her the benefit. I don't give this one the benefit of the doubt, because the level of time that she must have spent around douchebag motorcycle guys learning this skill must have spoiled her in some way. She's probably a very obnoxious woman. That's what I'm thinking.
well, no. You've got to think more chronologically about this. The amount of time that she spent, given her body, which means her age is in a certain range, means she learned this from her dad. So her childhood was spent around people like this. And so that's really the only way you get to this level of expertise at this young of a female's life, when this is not a female endeavor to begin with. She learned this from daddy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if we're just comparing the two types of girl, I'm less concerned about the girl who can open the back of her throat and more concerned about the girl that's going to have me rushing to the emergency room at 4 a.m. because she was thrown from her bike on the interstate.
Yeah, bro. People like that die.
Yeah, they do. They do. They die all the
And
time.
I don't say that to be funny. I know like 4 different people who've died in motorcycle accidents at this point. Like 4. What is the matter with you people? Why do y'all all like? I don't know. I don't get the whole motorcycle thing.
So where did you come down? Where did you? I came down. The girl who could chug a beer. I said I could probably try that. I would be willing to gamble on that relationship. But the girl on the motorcycle, I said no, because I think in order to have that level of skill, she's probably been spoiled by a lot of people I wouldn't want to hang out with. What about you? Where do you come down on both of them?
No, I would date both of them. They're both beautiful, and I would whatever.
All right, both of them, no problem. Ross Rubio says crotch rocket chick is a turnoff for sure. It is kind of a turnoff. See, this is why I thought it was a good one, because it's both for me a slight turn on, but then ultimately a turn off. I can't explain it. I wish I could articulate it better. I don't know. All right, James. What else? You got anything else?
I mean, have you ever dated a girl that does like really dangerous stuff like that, like the extreme sports kind of girl? I don't know if she likes to go parachuting or whatever. Did you ever date any girl like that?
Yes, kind of.
So who are you basing this on?
Oh, I'm not basing that on anything. Crazy chicks, just crazy chicks who are into that kind of stuff, and chicks who make dumb decisions. And, that's a dumb decision to decide to stand up on your crotch rocket on the interstate. It's just she's showing me, she's telling on herself, is basically what I'm saying. James, I dated a girl. I don't. You might remember. Were you with us when I was dating Jordan and Aaron was dating her sister? Her sister was. They were like barrel racer girls from Oklahoma. They were like rodeo princesses and stuff. So they were kind of extreme sports, right? I mean, not. I guess what we're thinking. But yeah, she was a little bit rough and tumble. She's been thrown from a horse.
So the one thing I learned from dating an identical twin, I don't know if your sisters had to go through this, but number one is when you meet them, you go through this cycle that they go through. You never dated an identical twin, did you?
No.
Oh. All right. So you date her, and
I dated a girl who had a twin brother.
No. This is
different kind of problem.
Okay. So about 30 minutes, maybe an hour into the first date, when they establish that they're not just going to run away from you forever and actually going to attempt to have future conversations with you. She's like, listen, let me just go ahead, because when you start asking questions, they blah, blah, blah. Let me go ahead and just get a few things out of the way. No, we have never had a threesome. No, we have never like slept with each other's boyfriends just for funsies. No guy's ever got us mixed up and we just went along with it. No, we don't kiss. No, we're not going to. No, we will not have a threesome with you. No, you cannot take pictures of us together. There was like this whole list of questions that every single guy that she had dated in adulthood has asked her at some point because and only because she's an identical twin. And so I didn't know that there was this whole just shoebox full of issues that they have to pull out and deal with at the beginning of every relationship.
Dudes are so predictable with their stupid questions. You know?
I know, and I was thinking, oh my God, I am so embarrassed that you have to put up with that. And then in my head, I'm thinking, I was wondering the answer to every single one of those questions. Crap, I'm one of those guys. I'm one of the dirtbags.
I got a great twin story for you. I don't know if it's great, you be the judge, but I've got a buddy who's got two older brothers who are identical twins. And one of the older brother identical twins is like a successful guy. He's a business owner. He's got a family. He's got kids in the suburbs, nice life. And the other identical twin is like a incorrigible, degenerate gambler who's constantly like being chased down by people and always in and out of trouble. And their twin problem is that the one who's always getting arrested is always giving the other twin's name.
No, because it might work.
Like if there's a warrant out for him, he's got fake identification that says he's his brother. So just in case he thinks there's a warrant out for him or something like that, he won't be, ran as, So twins, man, twins fuck with each other. That's
twin. You remember my producer Coleman from New Orleans, the black guy?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remember that one time. Yeah.
So he grew up with a set of identical twins. And as soon as they got out of high school, one of the brothers came out as gay. And he's not just gay. Apparently he goes all over town and has all kinds of amazing gay adventures. And then his brother will be walking through the grocery store and someone will be like, oh my God, it's you. Let me see that giant juicy cock of yours. And he hates it because he's just a regular married guy with kids. And every once in a while, some, fruit just comes up to him. Just
some fruit.
Oh.
Just
it's the bane of his existence, but I love hearing the stories. And there was a twin that I worked with when I was in high school at an Albertsons. I was a grocery sacker, and his name was Abdul, and his brother was like Apu. Like it was like very generic names, but I didn't know he was a twin, and so I saw his brother, and I was just yelling his name, and he wouldn't answer. And so I like got right in his face. And of course the brother knows what's going on because I'm saying his brother's name. And he's like, listen, man, I have never met you before in my entire life. I'm like, what is going on?
It's a doppelganger.
And so the next time I saw him at work, he's like, yeah, it's my twin brother. Get to work. But he didn't have time to mess with me. He was busy.
Hey, with the few minutes that we have left, can I tell you about the dictator from Turkmenistan and his crazy rules? Can we go through some of his crazy laws that he enacted because he was a dictator? He could do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear all these and be like, I'd probably do that.
This is like, okay. So here's the guy's name. He's been in office. He was in office between 1985 and 2006. So my man had a run. It wasn't like he just had 2 years of craziness and they got rid of him. He ran this country of Turkmenistan for like ever, and you've never heard his name. He was one of the most brutal and totalitarian dictators in the world, and we never heard his name. His name is Sapiramarat Nurazau. Sapiramarat Nurazau is his name. He was known by Turkmenbasi. Like people popularly refer to him as Turkmenbasi. Okay, so throughout history. He was involved with the Soviet Union, right? He was one of the appointed Soviet governors of the property of Turkey. I don't even know how that broke down back then. But then
it was one of the Soviet republics, like Kazakhstan, where Borat's from, and Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan.
So I'm glad you mentioned where Borat is from, because, Borat was really funny, and it seemed absurd the way Borat depicted his home country, right? Like, that can't be real. No, dude. Okay, so this crazy dictator in Turkmenistan who was there from 85 to 2006, here are some of the laws and decrees that when he dubbed himself all-powerful, these are some of the things that he did, okay? He banned the use of lip syncing at public concerts back in 2005 because it angered him.
Oh, Milli Vanilli was screwed. Yeah.
You would do that, right? If you were...
I would.
Banned all lip syncing. He declared that Turkmenistan is a neutral state and said that the country would not participate in any UN peacekeeping options. Okay, that's fine. He banished dogs from the entirety of the capital of Ashgabat because of their unappealing odor and because they didn't like him.
Yikes. All right. Now, I'm pro dog, so far he was a good guy, but I'm out on this.
Well, what do you think it says about him that dogs don't like him? He doesn't. Dogs know.
Yeah,
Dogs know when you're an asshole.
Yeah.
All right. What else? He banished dogs from the capital. According to the Ashgabat correspondent of Turkmenistan.ru, right-hand drive imported cars that had been converted to left-hand drive cars were banned in Turkmenistan because they confused him.
Okay.
Some cars are built to drive on the other side of the road. They angered him. That doesn't look the same. And, he got mad about it. All right, what else did he do? He ordered that all mountains and places in Turkmenistan be named after Turkmen heroes, poets, and leaders, who all ultimately just turned out to be friends and people he grew up with.
Sure, right.
James Parker, I'm going to name a mountain range after you.
That's Mount St. Pugs over there.
There you go. He made the second Sunday of August Melon Day, where everyone had to eat melons in honor of melons. Why? Because they were his favorite food. Everybody's got to eat melons.
Yeah, I'd do that.
How great is that?
Today is Sloppy Joe Day.
So he took the word, in their language, they had a word for bread. Bread, food, a pretty common word, I'm guessing. He took the word in their language for bread and replaced it with Gurbanzoltan. So from now on, whenever you wanted bread, you had to ask for Gurbanzoltan. Gurbanzoltan was his mom's name. He named bread after his mom.
See if that one sticks.
That's a fucking dictator move right there. You might be a first-round draft pick and you buy your mom a new house. This dude named bread after his mom.
And he probably did it like right after she died so no one would forget her name. Right.
Yeah, when she died. She died waiting in the same doctor's office that Kanye's mom died.
Of course he did prima nocta. Of course he did prima nocta. They all do that. They all do that.
After he quits... to located at Turkmen Medical University... Okay, he after quitting smoking in 1997, he banned smoking from the capital and issued legal fines and imprisonment for people caught smoking in public just because he quit. He quit, so everybody had to quit.
That's a real dick. I'm starting to think he might be a dick.
Starting to think he might be a little crazy.
Yeah.
But these are all crazy things. Like if Borat had been talking about his leader of his country, like we'd go, oh, those are obviously jokes. Okay, so continuing on. He outlawed opera, ballet, and circuses in 2001 because he decided that they were very un-Turkmen-like. So you're not manly enough.
Okay.
Okay. No men were allowed. In 2004, he decreed that men can no longer wear their hair long or have beards. So the whole country had to be
That's
clean.
it? No beards or long hair. Okay.
No beards or long hair.
Let's get into North Korea territory.
In March of 2005, he ordered the closure of all hospitals outside of the capital, stating that sick people who live in rural areas should just come to the city for treatment. Simple. Simple.
Hey, it might save him a few bucks, though. Cost cutting.
Yeah, it might. He ordered the closure of all libraries outside of the capital city, stating that the reason was that ordinary Turkmen didn't read anyway. He did.
Dang, that's a bad sign.
That's a bad one. Let's see here. He banned news reporters and presenters from wearing makeup on television. According to some reports, he felt betrayed by presenters who wore too much makeup.
Yeah, they don't look the same when you meet them in real life.
Don't you want to see a Turkmenistan news report now from back then? Don't you want to see what those news people look like with no makeup on?
They're wearing makeup. They're still wearing it. They're just trying not to make it obvious.
Let's see here. He also ordered that each broadcast begin with a pledge that the broadcaster's tongue would shrivel if he or she slandered the country, the flag, or the president himself.
Jesus. Okay.
Here's a bad one for us radio professionals, James. Back in 1995, he banned car radios because he considered them useless.
Do they have cell phones in places like this? Like, what do they do about that?
It depends on if he allows it or not. Honestly, that's what a dictator is. This is crazy, man. This is real shit that was going on in this world between 1985 and 2005. We've never heard of this guy before, right? I mean, this is just, I don't know why. I guess there was nothing there that...
It's a country of like 4 million people in the steppes of like Upper Mongolia, and we have no historic attachment to these people. We have no trading relationships with these people. We are about as disconnected from the Turkmen society as any other society we could possibly be. We have more direct connections with India and China than we do these people.
The last one that I'll give to you here, he outlawed gold teeth. He would not allow his people or his dentists to use gold teeth. Instead, he made people eat bones because he didn't like gold teeth. He thought they looked trashy. And he understood that there was a concern about people, poor dental care in Turkmenistan and whatnot, and people losing their teeth. He understood this was a real problem, but he came up with a way to fix it. And that was he would force children and everybody starting from this day forward to eat bones. Why? Because he noticed as a child growing up that the dogs all ate bones, and he never saw a dog with a missing tooth. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
I've seen toothless dogs, but okay.
How great is that?
Wow.
Dogs eat bones, and dogs don't lose their teeth when they get old.
Yeah, very small rocks. Get in.
I like him. Here's the great thing about this guy, James. Unlike most of the dictators that we could cover, were we to make this a new segment, he doesn't have a big body count. I mean, it's not like he killed all of the people with red hair in his country between 1990 and 19... There's not like none of that. It's just a bunch of stupid fun stuff that is obvious why the country didn't thrive.
Well, look, and the Turkmen people were just probably looking at themselves, and they were like, well, do you have more goats than you had 4 years ago? Well, okay. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Thank you, James. There he goes. That's James. I'm out of here, too. I am on a never-end. Tip the show if you can. That'd be great. We'd appreciate it. Tips are not good lately. These shows are not generating any. They're not paying for themselves, that's for sure. Not good. So if you want to tip the show, please help us out. Venmo, Cash App, whatever it is, however it is. Treat me like I'm your bartender. I'm your valet. Drop a little something if you can. We'd appreciate it. Thank you, folks. See you tomorrow at noon? Okay, I'll be there. How about you? Will you? Will you tell a friend? Bring a friend. Bring that girl you were telling me about. She seems nice. I want to meet her. All right, bye, folks. We'll talk tomorrow at noon. I'm Pugs Moran. This has been Pugs and Parker on the Radio Misfits podcast platform.
Tomorrow is another day. The best is yet to come. A different way, so baffling to some. I can smile.